Do you have that feeling of you're not where you want to be, and you look around and it seems like others around you are doing just fine? I know that feeling too well. It feels like you are trapped. At best, it's a little bit discouraging, and at worst, it's just downright depressing. It feels almost like you're in the middle of the ocean and you're just paddling to stay afloat and you don't know which direction to swim in because there is no land in sight. So if you feel like you're working hard but you're not going anywhere, like you're stuck financially, then this video is for you. And in this video, I'm gonna give you 2 solutions that's gonna help you with your problem. I'm telling you now, this is life-changing information. By the end of this video, you'll have 4 options. The first option is you could do absolutely nothing. You could get good information and not be proactive and put it into practice and nothing will change. The second option is you can start doing the first solution that I present to you. Now, if you only do the first solution, you'll succeed for a period of time, but over time, you will have that same feeling of being stuck. The third option is to go and do the second solution. The second solution is good, but that by itself will eventually leave you feeling stuck as well. And the fourth option is for you to do both of the solutions that I present so that you can have a life change financially. But before we dive into the solutions, let's look into the problems a little bit more. The problem is that when you feel like you are behind, when you feel like you are not where you want to be financially and you don't know how to break that cycle or get out of it, the first thing that you end up feeling is frustration. You're frustrated at your income, you're frustrated at your job or your career, you're frustrated at your decisions, you're frustrated at your lack of opportunities, you're frustrated at the lack of knowledge that you have and the lack of support to help you to be able to overcome the challenges that you are facing. After you're frustrated, you start feeling trapped. You feel like there's no way for you to break out, for you to be set free. You start thinking about solutions, but you come up with nothing because everything that you try seems like it just fails. After that, you end up feeling hopeless, like there's no way out. You're going to be stuck in this situation and you'll never be able to get to a place financially that you envision or that you really feel like you need to get to have a successful financial future. That leads to people feeling sad, and if you stay in that period of sadness for a long period of time, it leads to depression. How you know when you have this feeling is when you have what I call don't like syndrome. Don't like syndrome is when you don't like anything. It's like, I don't like my job. I don't like my career. I don't like my income. I don't like that I don't have enough money to do the things that I want to do. I don't like my car. I don't like my home. I just do not like my financial situation. And you may feel like this is a terrible place to be in, but I feel like this is a great place because this is when you realize that you have to do something different, that something has to change, that you want to make a transformation, which is the first step to your financial freedom. Now let's dive into the first solution. The first solution is the absolute most obvious solution ever, and that solution is to earn more money. But you already knew that, so let's not talk about that. Instead, let's talk about how to earn more money, because if someone tells you to earn more money, you're like, of course, that's what I would like to do. But many people do not know how to earn more money. So let's talk about it. The first step to earning more money is obtaining or acquiring more knowledge. The thing is that you don't know what you don't know. So the challenge is the reason we get frustrated or feeling like we're in the middle of the ocean or that we're drowning or that we're hopeless is because we don't know a way out of our situation. But newsflash, I want you to know that no matter what your career is, no matter what your field is, no matter what your level of education is, there are people in the field of jobs that you have that is making a ton of money, that are millionaires, that are multi-millionaires. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in, what job you have, what career you have, what degree you have. There are people in that field that are highly successful and getting compensated highly, and there are people in that field that aren't making a lot of money at all. So how do you become one of the people that's in that field that's getting paid adequately or getting a high income or doing well in that business that you're doing? And the first answer is because you don't know what you don't know, is what you need to do is find someone who is successful in that field, and then you need to go and learn from them. The saying is true that birds of a feather flock together. So if you're struggling and you're hanging around people that's struggling and you're talking to everyone that's struggling and you're learning from people that's struggling, then how are you going to ever succeed? And so the first mission that you have to do in order to help yourself financially is find people who are in your field or in the field that you want to be in that are highly successful, and go and build a relationship with that person. Whether you do internships, whether you are volunteering, whether it's a conversation, whether no matter what it is, you need to learn as much as you can from that person. So if you put yourself around successful people in a certain field and you are learning from successful people in a certain field, some of that will rub off on you and you will learn how to be successful. I don't care if you're a barber, or I don't care if you're a real estate agent, or I don't care if you're an attorney, or whatever it is that you do, you find people who are being successful in that field, and then you learn by observation, you learn by listening to them, and you learn by interacting with them, because you don't know what you don't know. So you don't even know what you don't know. And so you need to get around people who are successful, who do know, so that they can turn around and teach you and you can learn from them. So that's one of the best ways to put yourself in a position to where you can earn more. Because if you're feeling like you do not make enough money, and then you don't increase your income or you don't adjust your spending habits, then what's gonna happen is no matter what you do, when your light bill is due, when rent is due, when your card note is due, when credit card bills are due, when all these things are due, you're not going to feel good about yourself if you do not first implement these steps of saying, okay, I need to, one, learn how to increase my income, increase the amount of money that I have, and two, I need to learn how to manage what I have effectively. Now let's get into the second solution. This second solution is a game changer, and this is also not rocket scientist. One thing that you should do is you should give to people who have less than you do. As you're going and giving to people and you're being generous, you realize that you are actually rich, that you actually have a lot to offer, and that just like you look at others who are in a good place and you wish that you were in the place that they were in, there are many people that are looking up to you and looking at you and saying that they wish they had the things that you have. And so when you turn around and not just focus on what you don't have and you start focusing on what you do have, so much so that you turn around and start giving to others, then that changes your mind. And the biggest challenge that you have with looking at what others have and what others are doing and not being content with what you have and being sad about material items is you do not realize how rich you are. If you're watching this, that means you have internet, you have Wi-Fi, or you have data. That means you have a lot more resources than many people who are in this world. And so for you to start being appreciative of the resources you have, and there's no better way to be appreciative than to turn around and find out how you can go and be a blessing to others. There are many ways that you can give to others. That can be from going and taking a few dollars and handing it to someone in need, or picking up a sandwich or a drink and giving it to people who are homeless. It can be going and helping out at a homeless shelter, or volunteering to pass out food at a food distribution center that helps people who don't have enough money to go buy groceries for themselves. It could look like taking a missions trip where you go to another country and you just go and help them. I know there are churches in every city, every area that go on these mission trips where their primary purpose is go to an area that has a need and to be able to support them and to help them and give back to them. So by going and serving others, it will make you feel good about what you have. It'll let you be able to count your blessings, and it'll shift your mindset and your mentality about what others around you have, because there are always going to be people who have more and there's always going to be people who have less. And if you're upset about what you have in comparison to what someone else have, then that means you're just looking up too much instead of turning around and looking at some people that you can support and that you can help out. When I think about being grateful for what we have, one thing that I think about is the biblical passage in Matthew that talks about the parable of the vineyard. And so the parable of the vineyard is about a person who goes out and he hires workers. He goes out early in the morning at the beginning of the day, and he says that he's going to give these workers a denarius, which is really 1 day's worth of wages. And then he goes back at 9 a.m. and he sees some people and he says, "Come with me, I'm going to give you 1 day's worth of wages." And then he gets some people at 12 p.m. and he hires them to work. Then he goes and gets some people at 5 p.m. and have them work for the rest of the day, which will just be a couple of hours. At the end of the day, what he ended up doing was he gave a full day wage to the people who came at 5 o'clock, then a full day's wage to the people who came at noon, a full day's wage to the people who came at 9 a.m. And the people who were there all day from early in the morning, they came and he gave them a full day wage, and they were upset because they said, "Look, those other people came later than us. They didn't work as hard as us. They didn't work as long as us. We worked a full day. How can you pay me the same amount that you pay them?" And then in the parable, the manager said, "Hey, look, this is what you agreed to work for. What does it matter to you if I am more generous to them or not generous to them? I gave you what I agreed to give you." And so what they did in the parable is they were counting other people's pockets or counting other people's money, where they were happy at the beginning of the day to get paid their wages, and they were upset when they saw that other people were making just as much as them. And I believe that we are the same way. Oftentimes, people could be happy with their wage or their income until they learn how much a coworker is making. A coworker is making $5 more an hour, $2 more an hour. A coworker is making $10,000, $20,000 more a year, and you're doing the same amount of work. And naturally, that discourages you and that makes you feel upset, or you see what other people are doing in other careers and other jobs, and you see what they're getting paid and you see what you're getting paid, and then you start getting discouraged because of that. But what I say is you should not watch others and what they're getting and what they're doing and get caught up on other people, but instead you should focus on yourself, building yourself, bettering yourself, doing the best that you can do, learning the most that you can learn, and that's going to help you out mentally. That's going to help you feel like you're not treading water, like you're stuck in the middle of the ocean, and that's going to help you to be able to be financially successful. When you put these two principles together, these two concepts together, then what happens is it is a game changer. By putting a solution of earning more money, how do you earn more money? First, you don't know what you don't know. And so you need to get around people who are doing it. And one of the challenges is we try to go out and do what we think we should do in order to make the best income for ourselves, but you don't know what you don't know. So why would you rely on yourself who has never made that amount of money instead of going to someone who's done it successfully and made even way more than what you're thinking about making and trying to make, and you learn from them? And so when you do that, when you put that together and you learn how to manage your money and your resources good and effectively so that you're not wasting the income that you're actually receiving, when you take that solution and you pair it with the solution of contentment, with the solution of going and giving to others that have less than you by spending time with them, then what happens is it creates this balance, because no matter what level you get to, there's always going to be someone that makes more than you. There's always going to be someone that you can look at and say, I want what they have, but instead you have to learn how to be content. At the same time, it's hard to be content if your lights are getting cut off, if you're getting evicted, if your car not starting. And so you need to make sure that you're managing your income well. You need to make sure that you're getting enough income for yourself. So by you increasing your income and by you going and being content with what you have and giving back to others, that will shape and change your perspective. It will put you on a new level. You'll feel just more happiness. You'll feel more peace. You'll feel better about where you are in life. You won't feel stuck. And so if you enjoyed this video, then I want you to watch the other videos which are on this channel, which are all about financial literacy. In fact, I encourage you to watch this video where I did a 1-hour live on the same topic, and I just went deeper into what I talked about in this video. If you enjoyed, like, share, and subscribe. Catch you later. Bye.